Hi and welcome everyone to another video. My name is Denis and today I'm going to show you my team selection for Gaming 22 of Fantasy Premier League, but now let's just jump straight into it. Okay guys, so as I said before, today I'm going to show you my team selection for Gaming 22 of Fantasy Premier League, but before doing that I want to discuss real short about how my team performed in Gaming 21, and as you see on screen, this was a pretty nice gaming for me, honestly. I know that for a lot of people probably it has been a pretty crazy and weird gaming, but for me I finished on 66 points, which is really good. I got a huge, not huge, but a big, strong green arrow from 428k to 312, as you can see from the screen. So more than 100k green arrow. Really happy with that. Finally, we're moving into the right direction. Now, again, as I said so many times before, this is not the rank where I want to finish the season, but hopefully things can improve a little bit. And as you can see from the screen, yeah, I got 66 points basically thanks to Lacroix, who got 8 points, amazing, against Aston Villa. So it feels like Gaming 21 was ages ago, so I don't really remember all the things that happened. But thanks also to Thiago, who got a brace, bonus points. What a hero he was, again, as I talked before. Now, a lot of people sold Thiago to EKITIKÉ, which made a lot of sense. Luckily for me, I wasn't in a situation where I just sold Mateta to buy EKITIKÉ, so I have both of them. So yeah, getting 5 goals from Thiago in the last two gamings, I have to say that it is a big part of that is luck, and luck is a big factor involved in this game, and you just need to take it. But I'm happy to be on the right side here. Raya and Gabriel, double clean sheet from Arsenal. They played against Liverpool. I'm going to take that. Now, obviously, would have I preferred to have someone like Soboslai scoring a hat trick? Of course, because he would have been a big differential compared to the other two. Soboslai with 3 points. My midfield was pretty bad. Rodgers, Cunha, Foden, Soboslai. Now, looking at my midfield, I think that Anderson almost outscored all of my other midfielders, so really happy with him for this gaming. Dorgu finally got me something, 5 points, and Haaland was my captain. He got just 12 points, but it doesn't really matter what Haaland is doing, honestly, considering his ownership. Now, on my bench, as you can see from the screen, in Gaming 21, I opted to bench EKITIKÉ because I was pretty confident that EKITIKÉ was not going to start in that game against Arsenal. So I played the Lacroix instead of EKITIKÉ, and I'm really proud of myself, honestly, for doing that, because Alderweireld and Lacroix, if you were on my deadline stream, it was a pretty close decision, but the swing is huge, as you can see, 7 points. Virgil van Dijk, obviously, as I said before, now that he's on my bench, he got a clean sheet against Arsenal away. And honestly, Liverpool played amazing in that second half against Arsenal. I think that they were the better side. Now, again, I started someone like Dorgu. He got 5 points. Van Dijk got just 1 more point. So yeah, I was always going to bench Virgil van Dijk against Arsenal. I think that that was the correct decision. I can't really complain too much. 66 points on a big green arrow. Hopefully we can continue in this way. But now I have 2 free transfers, and let's see what I'm prepared to do for Gaming 22. Alright guys, now let's move and see how my team is looking for Gaming 22, and this is currently my team selection. We're going to talk about the possible transfers I'm thinking of, but first I want to discuss real short about every pick. Let me just move this down a little bit. We're going to do that on the Fantasy Football Hub app. If you want to check it, you have the links into my description. Now, in defense, easy decisions. I'm just going to play Raya and Gabriel. Again, I talked a lot about Raya. I'm not going to talk too much right now. Again, I don't think that Raya is part of the best trio from Arsenal, but again, I have just 2 free transfers, and if you're not using your wildcard, again, for my team, it doesn't make a lot of sense to use 2 free transfers to sell Raya to another goalkeeper, to upgrade another midfielder to someone like Rice. I still have just 2 Arsenal players, so if I want to buy someone like Declan Rice, I can do that. So again, for me, it's not a priority at the moment to sell Raya. Perfectly happy to play them against Nottingham Forest away. I'm not going to talk too much about Gabriel. He's the best defender in the game. If you have an easy route, if you can, if you, I mean, even if you need to make 2 free transfers to buy someone like Gabriel, I think that that's going to be worth it because he's just that good. Virgil van Dijk, again, I know a lot of people probably are fed enough with having Virgil van Dijk, but Liverpool actually got 2 clean sheets, I think, in the last 2 game weeks. He's going to play against Burnley. This is an easy decision for me. I'm just going to play Virgil van Dijk. Probably I'm still going to keep him, honestly. Spoiler alert for Bournemouth away, also in game week 23. But at some point, if I'm going to need some money to upgrade elsewhere, I'm going to sell Virgil van Dijk. I don't think that in particular he's worth the value, but he's still a decent pick. And against Burnley at home, I kept him this long. Surely Liverpool obviously have a good chance of keeping a clean sheet. Hopefully we can see some defensive contributions, maybe not against Burnley, and also maybe some attacking returns from Virgil van Dijk. The only debate for my team, talking about my defense for Game Week 22, is going to be Lacroix versus Alderete, because as you can see here on the hub, they are recommending me to start Alderete, and fair enough. They obviously are playing against each other. Alderete is playing at home. We know that Sunderland are an amazing team at home, in defense especially. Now, at the moment, I'm playing Lacroix. Sunderland away is not an amazing fixture, but it's fine. Again, this is the only debate, because both these players are great for defensive contributions. Both have a pretty decent chance of keeping a clean sheet. Now, I think that for my team, for this debate, is pretty much a coin flip. Again, could we see Alderete keeping a clean sheet? Of course. Could we see Lacroix keeping a clean sheet? Of course. Maybe someone like Lacroix is a little bit better for, I don't know, attacking threat. He's the more expensive players. Maybe that's playing in my mind a little bit. Maybe that's why I'm opting to play him. But this is just my opinion, by the way. If one team is going to concede, I just feel like, I don't know. I just don't see Sunderland keeping a clean sheet against Crystal Palace, but obviously I could be totally wrong here, and Sunderland could just win this game against Crystal Palace 1-0, and then this decision is going to look really stupid. But at the moment, I'm playing Lacroix. Maybe I'm going to change my mind by the deadline. I don't know, but this is the only problem. Dorgu is going to be the last player on my bench. At the moment, I'm going to keep him because he's just a 4.1. I think that I bought him at 4.1 million, something like that. So he's going to be my last sub every gaming for now. Let's see if he's going to still get some games for Manchester United. They have a new manager. Maybe they're going to improve, but that's another discussion. If we talk a little bit about my midfield, Cunha against Man City and Arsenal in the next two, Cunha probably is going to be sold this gaming. Now, again, probably a lot of people have Cunha, right? Just like me, we bought him for the good fixtures. He didn't return as we expected, I would say. Now, is he a must sell for Game Week 22? Probably not. Man City at home is not an amazing fixture, definitely. I would not be buying Cunha. But if you, I don't know, don't have any free transfers, if you want to delay that decision for Game Week 23, Game Week 24, that's perfectly fine. If you're forced to play him, I think that for what's worth, I think that he's going to start against Man City. But after that, Mbeumo is back. They have other players who could play. Sesko, Mount. At some point, his minutes are going to be reduced a little bit. That's what I think. So again, for me, probably I'm just going to sell him this week. And we're going to talk about which players I'm thinking in a minute. Foden, I'm just going to keep for the next two. I know he was rubbish for the last 5 gamings. I think that he blanked, but Man United, Wolverhampton in the next two is a are perfectly good games to keep Foden. I still think that his minutes are going to be okay for these fixtures. Then probably I'm just going to sell him to Bruno Fernandes or Cole Palmer or something like that. Rogers, Soboslai, these players I'm just going to keep. Rogers, probably I'm going to keep him long term. The fixtures are pretty decent for Aston Villa. Everton at home. Newcastle away is not great. Brentford at home is okay. Bournemouth away is okay-ish. Brighton, Leeds, Wolves. So the fixtures long term are great. I just bought Rogers 2 gamings ago, I think, so I'm just going to keep him for now. Soboslai, on the other hand, I'm not sure how many games he's going to have in my team. Again, definitely against Burnley at home, I'm just going to play him. There's no, again, I could just sell him for someone like Tavernier or other cheap midfielder, but that makes no sense at all at the moment. It's Burnley at home. He's still on penalties. Mohamed Salah is going to came back from AFCON at some point, but he still has 1 game to play there for the third place. So I'm just going to keep Soboslai, even if he's going to play as a right back. He's a penalty taker in this fixture, at least. If he's going to play as a right back, by the way, he's going to be good for defensive contributions. But at the moment, Yeah, no point in discussing about Soboslai. Maybe in gaming 23, maybe in gaming 24, definitely. I think that he's not that he's not worth the money, because he's a decent player. If we knew 100% that he's going to play as a number 10 every gaming 90 minutes on set pieces, he's still a decent pick. But I just think that someone like Tavernier, who is going to be on penalties on set pieces, maybe is going to play also as a number 10, and also he's much more cheaper, probably is a better pick, right? And Anderson against Arsenal at home, if I'm forced to play him this week, I think that's perfectly fine. Probably he's going to get defensive contributions. We're looking at 3 or 4 points minimum for Anderson, even against Arsenal. So at the moment, he's not a priority sell for me. And quickly going to my attack, Erling Haaland. Here I'm going to make a switch because we're going to discuss probably a little bit. At the moment, I'm thinking about captaining EKITIKÉ against Burnley at home. Now, again, don't scream at me, don't call me crazy. If you want to captain Erling Haaland, I still think that he's probably the best safe option against Man United. There were times when Haaland destroyed Man United, or where Man United put up a fight against Man City. Now they have a new manager, so if you believe in that theory, the new manager bounce or whatever, yeah, I definitely don't think that this is going to be, I don't know, a 5-0 to Manchester City or something like that, but it could happen. And if City are going to score some goals, Haaland definitely is going to be involved in them. Now, again, my rank at the moment is 312k, so I'm not in the best position at the moment. And again, for my team, definitely. If you don't want to captain Haaland, I think that after that, Hugo Ekitike is probably the best captaincy alternative, I would say. And again, the fixture is definitely better. They're going to play at home. Liverpool at Anfield. Ekitike is back. He played 30 minutes in the FA Cup. He scored also a goal, got an assist. Now, it doesn't really matter that much, but I expect Ekitike to start this game. Is he going to play 90 minutes? I'm not sure about that. I can't guarantee you that he's going to play 90 minutes, but I'm pretty confident that he's going to start, because they don't have really any other players to start, and he's in good form at the moment. So again, I'm willing to take that chance. Now, if you look here on the prediction, 7.7 for Haaland, 7.2 for Ekitike, it's not such a big difference. If I'm going to captain Haaland, probably I'm not going to get anything. And I just think that if you want to bet against Erling Haaland, probably when Manchester City are playing an away fixture and a tricky fixture, let's say, probably that's the best time to do it. And also, if you have a good alternative like Hugo Ekitike, who's going to play against Burnley, Man City is going to be also the early kickoff. I'm not too worried about Pep Guardiola saying that Erling Haaland is exhausted. I'm not sure if you saw those comments, and Pep Guardiola said something like they are waiting for Marmoush to came back to give Haaland the rest. Again, Haaland played against Exeter in the Carabao Cup, in the FA Cup, sorry. So if they wanted to rest Haaland, they could have done that in that fixture. So again, I think that Haaland's minutes are pretty safe at the moment. Everybody's going to captain Haaland, so it doesn't really matter that much. But again, at the moment, I'm willing to take the chance, the risk, however you want to call it, and captain Ekitike against Burnley. Again, could go terrible, yes, of course, but I'm willing to take that risk. Now, if by the deadline I'm going to change my mind, I reserve the right to change my mind. Thiago, the fixtures are horrible for Brentford. I'm just going to say that. So if you want to sell Ekitike to Thiago, I just think that's nonsense. And even if you want to buy Thiago, not by selling Ekitike, I think that he's a decent player to have. But honestly, if I were in that situation, if I didn't own Igor Thiago, I'm not sure if I would buy him, honestly, just before Chelsea away. And after that, Aston Villa away, Newcastle away, Arsenal at home. This is a pretty terrible run of fixture. Now, again, at that price, I think that he's probably the second best striker in the game after Erling Haaland, but the fixtures are just horrible at the moment. So yeah, now I'm going to talk a little bit about my transfer plans for Gaming 22. My initial plans, if you watch my other video, was to sell Cunha to Palmer and Igor Thiago to Krupi Juniors. Now I'm going to say to you that my plans changed a little bit, not because I don't know, I'm scared to sell Thiago or anything like that. Um, if someone like Palmer, I would be 100% sure I really want him right now in Gimmick 22, I would just sell Thiago. I'm not scared to sell Thiago. That was my plan. but because the comments on Cole Palmer back and forth, the new manager for Chelsea talked about Palmer. He missed that game against Arsenal. I'm pretty sure he's going to start against Brentford for Chelsea in Game Week 22, but I just can't trust 100% Palmer. He looks like he got a little tight injury. That's why he didn't play in the Carabao Cup against Arsenal. I'm just not sure. I'm pretty sure that he's not going to start to play 90 minutes every game week in the next six. And if I want to buy Cole Palmer, I think that the best idea for me would be to just delay that move in Game Week 24. And if by that time Cole Palmer is still not going to be an option, then yeah, it is what it is. But it is a shame. I'm going to say that because I had the exact money to go from Cunha to Palmer and Thiago to someone like Rupi Juniors, who is also a player I really like. Now, what are my options? As I said before, I have two free transfers, 0.2 millions in the bank, and my plan is to sell Cunha. I have 8.2 millions to spend on a player. Now, the most logical, reasonable, optimal move would be to just buy Declan Rice, probably since I just have two players from Arsenal, so I can do that. Uh, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy Declan Rice. Again, I think that is a really good option. I think that again now because of the results, because Man City won, Arsenal won against Chelsea 3-2, and they're going to play the second leg against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. It's most not most likely, but there's a chance Arsenal are going to have a double in Game Week 26. Now, why am I telling you this? If somehow Arsenal are going to have that double, who would you prefer to captain from Arsenal? Because you need to think also about that. Would you prefer to captain Bukayo Saka, or would you prefer to captain Declan Rice? Because that's the thing. I don't want to rule myself buying Bukayo Saka. If I'm going to buy Rice in Game Week 22, then again, I could just buy Bukayo Saka by selling Rice, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I want to leave my options open about my third Arsenal spot for now. Again, if you're okay captaining Declan Rice, that's perfectly fine in double gaming. If you want to captain someone like Gabriel, that's also perfectly fine. But again, if you can guarantee me that Saka is going to start both games in a double gaming, I think that he's still the best captaincy option from Arsenal, and that's the only reason why, not the only reason, but this is one of the reasons why I'm not sure if I want to buy Declan Rice now. Another reason is I think that there are also other players who could score, who could match or even outscore someone like Declan Rice. Now, again, I'm not ruling him out. If I want to buy Rice by selling Cunha, that's perfectly fine. I can do that. Mbeumo, I'm not going to buy. Bruno Guimaraes, again, I'm just not going to buy him. I know that probably a lot of people have him. Congrats to anyone who owned him. You got amazing returns, but I just think that he overperformed a little bit his data. I mean, he got a penalty when Voldemort and Gordon were both not on the pitch. That's a little bit lucky. We need to be honest here. He scored a goal from a corner. So again, I'm just not sure if those returns are going to be at the same level every gaming from now on. And I don't know, if I want to buy Bruno Guimaraes, I just think that I'm going to go for Rice. I think that Rice is much better, a much better all-round player. He's better for defense contributions. He's on some set pieces. He's good for bonus points. I just think that the Rice is better. So if I want to buy that kind of player, I'm just going to go for Rice probably. Now that leaves me with Enzo Fernandez. Currently, this is my plan for Gaming 22 to sell Cunha to Enzo. And that's basically because I'm not sure if I want to go for Palmer. Again, I could just keep Cunha. But again, with Cunha, with Foden, with these two players, I think that I'm going to lose a lot of value if I'm not going to sell them. And also, by the way, with Enzo Fernandez, uh, the fixtures obviously are great from Gaming 24. West Ham, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley. Everybody knows I want to have some Chelsea players. That's a thing I know for sure. So why not just buy him now? Brentford at home is a decent fixture. Crystal Palace away is not amazing, but Enzo Fernandez, again, he played against Arsenal um, in a position of defensive midfielder, but that's because they were without Santos and without Caicedo. So again, I'm not going to say to you that definitely Enzo Fernandez is going to play as a number 10 every gaming for Chelsea, because again, I'm just not sure if that's going to happen, but that's how I see it. I think that Enzo Fernandez is going to play as a number 10. If Palmer somehow is not going to be on the pitch at any given game, it's likely that Enzo Fernandez is also going to be on penalties. He has amazing expected data, XG. But the thing is, he's not a great finisher, so he's not getting a lot of goals from all that XG. But that's also good to have. I want a player who is getting those chances. So most likely I'm just going to buy Enzo. Other than that, Gakpo is nice as a punt if you want to buy him. Gordon is okay, but the features for Newcastle, again, Wolverhampton away is nice. That's also why I don't want to go for Bruno Guimaraes. But then Aston Villa, Liverpool, Spurs, Man City, Everton, again, the fixtures are not great. Gordon, the same. He's not playing 90 minutes every gaming, but he's on penalties. So he's okay. But yeah, Wirtz, Florian Wirtz, I'm not going to go there. I have also three Liverpool players: Garner, Mitoma, Wharton, Shade, Doku, Cherky. Yeah, other than that, other options would be obviously someone like Harry Wilson. I could just go for him at 5.9 millions, but Enzo Fernandez is 6.4. I just think that he's really cheap. Honestly, I think that he's a no-brainer. If you want to buy, again, if you want to buy a midfielder, probably Enzo Fernandez is the best option for you this game, considering his price, considering the fixtures that are going to come up for Chelsea. Again, I think that he's great. He's a great pick. But here Wilson is definitely another shout. And other than that, probably it's Tavernier for me. But Brighton away, Liverpool at home, the next two are not amazing. So yeah, if you give me Enzo Fernandez versus Tavernier for the next two, probably I would just pick Enzo Fernandez. Tavernier is going to came into the discussion from Gaming 24. The features for Bournemouth are going to be great. Wolverhampton, Aston Villa, Everton, West Ham, Sunderland. So yeah, pretty much that's it. That's it. Again, I think that I'm just going to use one free transfer. My initial plan was to use both, but that was because I needed some money to buy Cole Palmer by selling also Thiago and Cunha. If I'm going to buy Enzo, I think that I'm just going to keep Thiago. Now, let's get back to the Thiago discussion. If you want to sell Thiago, and that's going to help you to, I don't know, buy other players like Rice, Enzo, Palmer. If you want to take a punt on Palmer, obviously, I don't mind selling Palmer. Again, I'm not going to suggest to anyone to sell him if you don't want to, but I just think that the fixtures are pretty terrible for Thiago. He's still on penalties, but if you want to go against Thiago with those fixtures, that's perfectly fine. But if I'm going to sell Cunha to Enzo, then it makes no sense for me to sell Thiago. So yeah, I'm just going to keep him probably and play him against Chelsea away. I could play Alderete, honestly, but probably the right call would be to just play Thiago. And then in Gaming 23 is a decent fixture against Nottingham Forest. And then again, from Gaming 24, I could sell him for these three fixtures, which are pretty horrible, but then the fixtures are going to get better again. Brighton and Burnley in Gaming 28. So probably I'm just going to end up keeping Thiago for now. And if I'm going to need to make some moves, probably EKITIKÉ is going to be sold in the future. So yeah, for me, I have Raya, Gabriel, Virgil van Dijk, Lacroix in defense. Are there better options in defense? Probably. Chalobah is nice, but selling Lacroix to Chalobah doesn't make a lot of sense. The fixtures are going to be decent also for Crystal Palace, Sunderland, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, Burnley, Wolverhampton in gaming 26-27. And I think that at the moment not a lot of people have Crystal Palace defenders, so that's why I'm also more tempted to just keep Lacroix. Other than that, Chow is good for this fixture for gaming 22, but then the fixtures are not that great. Senesi is another shout, but as I said before, the next two for Bournemouth are not great. After that, we can talk about Senesi. I think that he's still a good player at that price, 4.8 millions. I have Alderete. Van Heck is okay. Tarkovsky is okay, but the fixtures are pretty meh from Everton. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with my defense, with my attack. Now, what's funny, maybe not funny is the right word, but a lot of people sold Thiago to buy EKITIKÉ, and also a lot of people sold EKITIKÉ to buy Thiago or to buy another striker when EKITIKÉ got injured. And I think that not a lot of people have both of them like me, so I'm in a pretty funny situation. But honestly, I like it because everyone is talking about not having Thiago, not having Ekitike against Burnley, and I have both of them. So yeah, I feel pretty lucky to be in this situation. And yeah, I have more room to be more flexible. If I want to sell one of those in the future weeks, Ekitike is 8.9 million, so I have a cash cow pretty much if I need that money. So let's just make that move. And then again, this is how my team probably is going to look like. Dubravka against Liverpool away, I didn't talk about him, but he's going to be on my bench. So I'm going to sell to save my other free transfer. I'm going to have two free transfers for Gaming 23. If we optimize, here they are playing Lacroix against Chelsea, then playing Virgil van Dijk against Bournemouth away. Now I'm not really sure if that's how I'm going to play. But anyway, if I'm going to keep Virgil van Dijk for 23, I'm going to play him probably against Bournemouth away, Alderete against West Ham away, and then Burnley, Gaming 24. So really happy to have Alderete. A lot of people are thinking right now about buying Sunderland defenders. I'm really happy that I bought him. I think that on my wild card in Gaming 6 or 7, something like that. And yeah, this is how my team would look like for Gaming 23. Now, in Gaming 23, Chelsea are going to play against Crystal Palace, so I'm not going to buy Chaloba. I'm not going to buy Palmer. Tavernier is going to play against Liverpool, so I'm not going to buy any Bournemouth players. So for me, in Gaming 23, probably is going to be again a role. Gabriel Raya against Man United is perfectly fine. Anderson against Brentford. Here I have also Soboslai against Bournemouth away. Now I could play him instead of Anderson or Rogers, but probably I'm just going to take Anderson as defensive contributions. And Thiago Ekitike against Bournemouth away, perfectly fine. Probably I'm just going to keep Ekitike if he's still going to be fit by then. Ekitike is an interesting pick because I saw a lot of people thinking about how they're going to sell him. Now, what's going to happen if Ekitike is going to, let's say, score 2 goals against Burnley, because I think that's a total possibility, right? And let's say he's going to get a goal and an assist against Bournemouth. What's going to happen then? I think that a lot of people are going to change their mind on Ekitike. He's a number 9 who's pretty much nailed to play good minutes for Liverpool. Isaac, we know that he's going to be out for a lot of this season, probably all season. They don't have a lot of options to play up there. They are not going to play Chiesa as a number 9 in the Premier League. We saw clearly that. So again, I reserve the right to change my mind. If Ekitike is going to do really well, I'm just going to think, why not just keep him. Now Newcastle at home and City at home in Gaming 24-25 are not two amazing fixtures, but at least they are at Anfield. And other than that, Bournemouth is okay, Sunderland is okay, Forest is okay, West Ham at home in Gaming 28 is perfectly fine. So yeah, maybe I'm going to sell Ekitike in Gaming 24, but maybe I'm going to buy him back at some point because I think that he's a decent player. If I don't particularly think that he's worth all the money because he's not on penalties and all that, but again, considering how many good strikers we have at the moment in the game, I think that Ekitike is okay. So as I said before, probably I'm just going to roll here and have 3 free transfers in Gaming 24 where we can really talk about what probably I'm just going to use all of my 3 transfers in Gaming 24. By this point, if someone like Cole Palmer is going to become an option, let's talk a little bit about Chelsea. Now, if you want to buy some Chelsea players, Chaloba, Enzo Fernandez, Palmer, probably, and Sanchez, if you want to buy a goalkeeper, probably these are the most safe options. If you want to go for someone like Pedro Neto for a little bit of a punt, that's also perfectly fine. Bruno Fernandes by Gaming 24, after Man United are going to play against Arsenal, he's going to become an option. He's going to play as a number 10. Now, I can't guarantee that Bruno Fernandes is going to be a better pick now that he's going to play a more advanced position. He's going to lose the DEFCON, that's it, but he could score more goals, more assists. So I think that Bruno Fernandes is still going to be a really good pick from Gaming 24 onwards, on some set pieces, on penalties. He still got that. So I have also, my plan was also to buy Bruno Fernandes, let's say, by Gaming 24. And I could do that just by selling Foden. Now, at this point, if I want to go for someone like Palmer, if I'm going to trust the minutes, because another thing about Chelsea is they have a lot of fixtures between all these fixtures you see here from gaming 22, 27 in the Champions League, in all the cups. And the thing is, again, Palmer could just be rested in Champions League, could just be rested in the cup games and just play all the Premier League games, and that's perfectly fine. Happy days. But the honest truth is that we don't know exactly if that's going to happen. And the only problem is he has a little bit of an injury. He didn't do that surgery. They are hoping he's going to heal by himself, and it's just not working at the moment for Cole Palmer. So yeah, but let's just say he's going to be fit. Let's just say he's going to smash it in gaming 23, 24, 22, sorry. And then if I really want to buy Cole Palmer, the only option for me, let's say I'm going to sell Soboslai because I want to keep Enzo, I want to have Bruno Fernandes, Rogers probably I'm going to keep, and Anderson probably I'm still going to keep, is by selling Soboslai, right? And then I'm going to find 2.7 millions. Now, I can do that by selling Van Dijk, as you can see, because there aren't any defenders at 3.2 millions. And I have just one more free transfer. So the only way to do that is either by, let's say, selling Thiago to a 4 million striker, but there are none. So yeah, I can't do that. So probably the only way is to sell EKITIKÉ, right? And if I'm going to sell EKITIKÉ, probably I'm just going to buy Krupi Juniors. The fixtures also are going to be amazing from, not amazing, but really good for Bournemouth from Gaming 24, starting with Wolverhampton away. And that would leave me also with 1.5 millions in the bank. So this is again the plan at the moment. Would have I preferred to have someone like Chalobah instead of Virgil van Dijk? Yes, again, but I just don't think that I'm going to take the -4 to do that. I could just buy Chalobah in gaming 25 if I really want to do that. So let's make the transfers. And if that's going to be the case, probably here I'm going to play Krupi Juniors instead of Anderson if I'm going to be uh, confident in Krupi Junior starting, and would be my team. Raya, Gabriel against Leeds, Alderete against Burnley, Lacroix against Nottingham Forest away, or I could just play Virgil van Dijk against Newcastle, but probably Lacroix sounds a little bit better. Palmer, Enzo against West Ham at home, Bruno Fernandes, yeah, Rogers against Brentford, Thiago against Aston Villa. The team would look pretty nice for Game 24. Now, I didn't talk too much about, I mean, I didn't talk at all about wildcarding. I think that Gaming 24 is going to be a nice window to use your wildcard. I'm not sure. I didn't rule that out for my own team, but as you can see from the screen, I think that my team is pretty okay. I'm happy with my team, honestly. I have Palmer, Enzo, Bruno Fernandes, Gabriel. Which players am I missing to use the wildcard for Gaming 24? That's the only problem. I have Haaland, Thiago, Krupi Juniors. I have Lacroix, a Crystal Palace defender, who a lot of people are not going to have in Gaming 24. Uh, Double Arsenal defense, 1.5 millions in the bank. I have also Virgil van Dijk to sell at some point and get even more money. So yeah, that's why I think that I'm not going to use my wildcard in Gaming 24. Probably it's going to be by used in Gaming 31, 32. And the thing is, I know that my rank is not amazing at the moment, but I just think that my team is pretty okay without wildcarding. And again, what am I missing here? Another Man United uh, midfielder, defender, another someone like Matty Cash maybe. So yeah, pretty much that's it. If you want to use your wildcard, uh, wildcarding in Gaming 24 is going to be really good for, I don't know, if you're 1 million at the moment, if you're 2 million rank at the moment, I think that wildcarding in Gaming 24 is going to be a nice opportunity for you to try to push for a better finish. If you're happy with your rank at the moment, I think that wildcarding in the later stage of the season, where we're going to know exactly which teams are going to double, when they are going to double, when the double gamings and blank gamings are going to be, is the best decision. So let's say you're 10k at the moment, and if you're happy with that, I would just not wildcard in Gaming 24 because it's going to be better. It's going to be better to wildcard in gaming 30, 31, 32 if you're happy with your rank. Now, if you're not happy with your rank, wildcarding in gaming 24 is a good strategy. Just save your transfers until gaming 24. Use your wildcard in gaming 24 to have 3 Chelsea players, some Bournemouth players, Bruno Fernandes, your best trio from Arsenal, whichever that may be. And then you're just going to have 4 or 5 free transfers after you're using, and that's going to help you navigate the blank and double gamings in gaming 26, 31, 34, whichever they are going to be. I'm going to make another video probably after this week talking about the best time to wildcard when the double gamings are likely to be. So yeah, that's pretty much my advice to you. Again, if you want a wildcard 24, that's perfectly fine. If you want a wildcard later, that's perfectly fine. But that's how I see it. If you're happy with your rank, use the wildcard later, when we have more information, because that's going to help you retain that rank. If you're not happy, just use it in gaming 24, take some risk with. Another thing is, if Palmer somehow is going to be injured, that weakens a little bit, I think, the wildcard in gaming 24, because again, he's going to be a huge differential. Not a lot of people are going to go for Palmer. Not a lot of people are going to captain Palmer in those fixtures. So yeah, now this is my team for gaming 24. Gaming 25, I'm going to have 1 free transfer. And yeah, I'm going to need to see here what I'm going to do. Probably Virgil van Dijk is going to be sold. Here I didn't talk about other things I could do, but again, if I don't want to go for Palmer, let's say, I could just go for someone like Tavernier. I could go for someone like Chalobah instead of Virgil van Dijk. These are the options at the moment. This was my team selection for gaming 22. I'm going to wait to see you on the deadline stream. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Try to hit also that hype button. YouTube has a new button to help the creators, I guess. And yeah, check the memberships if you want to support the channel even more. And I'm going to see you next time. Bye.